This is the RPINT E500 electric bike, and after riding it on pavement, gravel, and a couple sandy trail sections, I have a pretty clear read on what it does well and where it asks for compromise. In this video, I'm sharing how it actually feels to live with, why some of the specs online don't line up, and who I think will enjoy it most. Key features you'll notice right away are the 48-volt 18-amp-hour removable battery, a fat tire 20-inch setup, a 7-speed drivetrain, and a high-torque hub motor advertised at 1,000 watts peak. On paper, that 48-volt and 18-hour pack equals 864 watt-hours, which is a big battery for this class. That's the fuel tank. The motor's peak rating is the short burst number. Continuous power feels closer to a strong 750 unit, which tracks with how it accelerates and climbs. From my experience, the E500 is about steady, confident power rather than snappy, wheel-lifting punch. On throttle, it moves with a smooth ramp that keeps the rear tire from breaking loose, even on loose dirt. With pedal assist, it wakes up more, especially in higher assist levels, and that's where it feels strongest on hills. PS, by the way, is pedal assist. The motor adds power only when you're pedaling. It's the most efficient way to ride an e-bike because you're helping the motor instead of asking the battery to do everything. Range for me matched the realistic end of the claims. I ran a full pass day at mostly level 2 with rolling terrain, mixed surfaces, and a bit of wind, and got just over 30 miles before I dipped into the last bar. On throttle-only rides, I got in the low 20s miles before calling it. In my opinion, the advertised 35 miles on pass and 25 on pure electric is achievable if you ride reasonably, keep your tires at proper pressure, and don't sit in max assist the whole time. The removable battery is the unsung hero here. I pop it out at home, bring it inside, and charge it in about 5 to 6 hours. It's UL 2849 certified, which matters to me. That certification covers the e-bike's electrical system, battery, charger, and control unit, against fire and electrical hazards. I checked the labels on my pack and charger, and that extra layer of safety is reassuring. Weight is a big part of this bike's personality. My scale put it in the low 80s in pounds, which is hefty. On the road, that translates to planted, secure tracking at speed and a calm feel over rough patches. It doesn't get blown around by crosswinds, and the fat 20x4 tires plus the front suspension fork take the sting out of potholes and washboard. Off the bike, the weight is the trade-off. I wouldn't want to carry it upstairs, and wrestling it onto a standard car rack is a chore solo. It's perfect for riders who can store it on ground level, roll out of a garage, or load it into a pickup. Handling is stable more than sporty. The steering has a relaxed feel. It's not twitchy, but it's also not a quick-turn trail bike. Think small mope vibes with pedals. The fat tires are part of that feel. They float on sand and gravel, they mute chatter, and they grip well, but they also soften the steering feedback compared to a narrow-tire commuter. I ran them between 15 and 20 psi off-road and closer to 25 psi on pavement, and that gave me the best mix of comfort and control. Braking on my unit is mechanical disc front and rear. They stop the bike reliably, but they need a firm pull and a bit of bedding in to feel their best. After a couple rides, I adjusted the cable tension and the pad clearance, and the lever feel improved. If you're new to disc brakes, mechanical means they use a cable like a normal bike brake instead of hydraulic fluid. They're easier to maintain at home, but don't have the same smooth, powerful modulation as hydraulic systems. I also had a bit of squeal in the wet until I wiped the rotors and did a few progressive stops. Gearing is a simple 7-speed. It's handy for getting the cadence right in pass and for easing starts on hills. Out of the box, I had to fine-tune the barrel adjuster to get the shifts clean into the highest cog. That's pretty normal for shipped e-bikes, and 2 minutes of tweaking fixed it. The saddle is on the firm side but supportive. The seat height is adjustable, and I was able to get a decent pedaling position for my 5'10" frame. The frame itself is steel, which is part of the weight, but it feels solid with no flex when I stood up on the pedals. Top speed is where marketing can get noisy. I've seen listings for this E500 that mention 30 to 40 miles per hour. From my experience, unlocked on flat ground with a full battery, I saw right around 28 to 30 miles per hour on throttle and a touch more when pedaling with assist at high cadence. Hitting 40 miles per hour on a fat tire e-bike like this would take a tailwind, a long downhill, or different controller tuning. In my opinion, the 28 to 30 miles per hour range is a realistic expectation and already plenty fast for this platform. There's also some confusion around the E500 name. If you search it, you'll find kids' dirt bikes, mini bikes, and commuters from different companies. This one is the 500 with a 48-volt, 18-8-hour battery, 20x4 tires, 7-speed, and a claimed 300-pound load rating. Specs vary between retailers. Some pages even suggest rear suspension, others only mention front. My unit has a front suspension fork, and the tires handle the rest. If rear suspension matters to you, double-check photos and the parts list before you buy. I also noticed one page calling it beginner, which doesn't match how it rides. In my opinion, the power and weight combo can overwhelm a true beginner, especially in tight spaces. It's friendly once you learn it, but it's not a featherweight city bike. Living with it, a few small things stood out. The display is basic and readable. The 3 pass levels are straightforward. I'd like more granular control. 5 levels would help with fine-tuning speed on shared paths, but the 3-step layout keeps it simple. The headlight is bright enough for dusk rides and to be seen. The kickstand holds the bike steady, but I did get a bit of rattle from it on rocky sections. Tightening the hardware helped. I'm about 180 pounds and it carried me plus a small backpack without complaint. The motor never overheated on hill repeats and the controller stayed consistent. From my experience, the sweet spot for this bike is mixed surface riders who want a mope-like feel with real pedaling backup and a big battery for longer outings. It's perfect for weekend paths, beach access at lower tire pressures, snowy neighborhood streets in winter, and suburban errands where you don't need to carry it upstairs. It's also a solid choice if you're worried about battery safety. That UL2849 tag is worth having. If you want something nimble, light, and easy to haul onto transit, this isn't it. I'd recommend this for riders who value stability and range over portability, who have a place to store a heavy bike, and who want a relaxed, confident ride with enough speed to keep up with city traffic on 30 miles per hour roads when unlocked. If you're brand new to e-bikes, start in lower PHAS levels. Get a feel for the throttle in an empty parking lot, and take a minute to set your tire pressures to your terrain. Little setup choices make a big difference on fat tires. In my opinion, the RPINT E500 delivers on the core promise of a long-range all-terrain fat tire e-bike with legit safety certification and a motor that feels appropriately powerful without being sketchy. The trade-offs are real. It's heavy, it's not the most agile, and the online specs can be inconsistent. But when you match it to the right use case, it's a satisfying, dependable ride that makes rough paths and longer trips easy. In conclusion, if your priority is a sturdy, fast enough fat tire e-bike with a big removable battery and you don't need to carry it upstairs, this one is worth a serious look. If you want something light and flickable, consider a smaller battery commuter instead. If you have questions or want me to test specific scenarios, steeper climbs, towing a trailer, sand versus snow, drop them below. If you found this helpful, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with what you want to see next. Thank you for watching.